Book 7, Part 1 of Ovid's Metamorphoses. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Elizabeth Klett. Metamorphoses by Publius Ovidius Naso. Translated by Brooks Moore. Book 7, Part 1. Over the storm-tossed waves the Argonauts had sailed in Argo, their long ship, to where King Phineus, needy in his old age, reigned, deprived of sight and feeble. When the sons of Boreas had landed on the shore, and seen the Harpies snatching from the king his nourishment, befouling it with beaks obscene, they drove those human vultures thence. And having suffered hardships and great toils, after the day they rescued the sad king from the vile Harpies, those twin valiant youths, Zetes and Calais, came with their chief, the mighty Jason, where the Phasis flows. From the green margin of that river, all the crew of Argonauts, by Jason led, went to the king Aeetes and required the golden fleece, that he received from Phrixus. When they had bargained with him, full of wiles he offered to restore the golden fleece only to those who might to him return, victorious from hard labours of great risk. Medea, the king's daughter, near his throne, saw Jason, leader of the Argonauts, as he was pressing to secure a prize, and loved him at first sight with a consuming flame. Although she struggled to suppress her love, unable to restrain herself, she said, "In vain I've striven to subdue my heart. Some god it must be which I cannot tell is working to destroy my hapless life, or else it is the burning flame of love that in me rages. If it is not love, why do the mandates of my father seem too harsh? They surely are too harsh. Why do I fear that he may perish whom I have seen only once? What is the secret cause that I am agitated by such fears? It is no other than the god of love. Thrust from your virgin breast such burning flames, and overcome their hot unhappiness. If I could do so, I should be myself. But some deluding power is holding me helpless against my will. Desire persuades me one way, but my reason still persuades another way. I see a better course, and I approve, but follow its defeat. O royal maiden, why are you consumed with love for this strange man, and why are you so willing to be carried by the nuptial ties so far from your own country, where indeed are many brave men worthy of your love? Whether for life or death his numbered hours are in the mercy of the living gods, and that he may not suffer risk of death, too well foreseen, now let my prayers prevail, righteously uttered of a generous heart without the stress of love. What wicked thing has Jason done? His handsome person, youth, and noble ways would move a heart of stone. Have I a heart of flint, or was I born a tigress to deny him timely aid? Unless I interpose, he will be slain by the hot breath of brazen-footed bulls, or will be slaughtered by the warriors sprung miraculous from earth, or will be given to satisfy the ravenous appetite of a huge dragon. Let my gloating eyes be satiate with his dying agonies. Let me incite the fury of these bulls. Stir to their bloodlust mad-born sons of earth. Rouse up the never-sleeping dragon's rage. Avert it, gods. But why should I cry out upon the gods to save him from such wrong, when by my actions and my power myself may shield him from all evils? Such a course would wreck the kingdom of my father, and by me the wily stranger would escape from him, and spreading to the wind his ready sails, he would forget and leave me to my fate. Oh, if he should forget my sacrifice, and so prefer those who neglected him, let him then perish in his treachery. But these are idle thoughts. His countenance reveals innate nobility and grace, that should dispel all fear of treachery, and guarantee his ever-faithful heart. The gods will witness our united souls, and he shall pledge his faith. Secure of it, my fear will be removed. Be ready then, and make a virtue of necessity. Your Jason owes himself to you, and he must join you in true wedlock. Then you shall be celebrated through the land of Greece by throngs of women for the man you saved. Shall I then sail away, and so forsake my sister, brother, father, gods, and land that gave me birth? My father is indeed a stern man, and my native land is all too barbarous. My brother is a child, my sister's goodwill is good help for me, and heaven's supreme God is within my breast. I shall not so be leaving valued hopes, but will be going surely to great things. And I should gain applause from all the world as having saved the threatened Argonauts, the most noble of the Greeks, and in their land, which certainly is better than my own, become the bride of Jason, for whose love I should not hesitate to give the world, and in whose love the living gods rejoice so greatly. For his sake they would bestow their favours on my head, and make the stars my habitation. Should I hesitate because the wreck-strewn mountains bar the way, and clash together in the Euxine waves, or fear Charybdis, fatal to large ships, that sucks the deep sea in its whirling gulf and spouts far upward with alternate force, or Scylla, circled with infuriate hounds howling in rage from deep Sicilian waves? Safe in the shielding arms of him I love, on Jason's bosom leaning, I shall be borne safely over wide and hostile seas, and in his dear embrace forget my fears, or if for anything I suffer dread, it will be only for the one I love. Alas, Medea, this vain argument has only furnished plausible excuse for criminal desires, and desecrates the marriage rite. It is a wicked thing to think upon. Before it is too late, forget your passion, and deny this guilt. And after she had said these words, her eyes were opened to the prize of modesty, chaste virtue, and pure affection, and Cupid, vanquished, turned away and fled. Then to an ancient altar of the goddess named Hecate, Perseus' daughter took her way in the deep shadows of a forest. She was strong of purpose now, and all the flames of a vanquished passion had died down. But when she saw the son of Aeson, dying flames leaped up again. Her cheeks grew red, then all her face went pale again, as a small spark when hid beneath the ashes, if fed by a breath of wind, grows and regains its strength, as it is fanned to life. So now her love that had been smouldering, and which she would have thought was almost dead, when she had again seen this manly youth, blazed up once more. For on that day his graceful person seemed as glorious as a god. And as she gazed and fixed her eyes upon his countenance, her frenzy so prevailed, she was convinced that he was not a mortal. And her eyes were fascinated, and she could not turn away from him. But when he spoke to her, and promised marriage, grasping her right hand, she answered, as her eyes suffused with tears, "I see what I will do, and ignorance of truth will not be my undoing now, but love itself. By my assistance you shall be preserved, but when preserved, fulfill your promise." He swore that she could trust in him. Then by the goddess of the triple form, Diana, Trivia, or Luna called, and by her sacred groves and fanes he vowed, and by the hallowed sun that sees all things, and by his own adventures and his life, on these the youthful Jason took his oath. With this she was assured, and quickly gave to him the magic herbs. He learnt their use, and full of joy withdrew into his house. Now when the dawn had dimmed the glittering stars, the people hastened to the sacred field of Mars, and on the hills expectant stood. Arrayed in purple, and in majesty distinguished by his ivory sceptre, sat the king, surrounded by a multitude. Below them on the visioned field of Mars, huge brazen-footed bulls were breathing forth from adamantine nostrils living flames, blasting the verdant herbage in their path. As forges glowing with hot flames resound, or as much quicklime burnt in earthen kilns crackles and hisses as if mad with rage, sprinkled with water, liberating heat, so their hot throats and triple-heated sides resounding told of pent-up fires within. The son of Aeson went to meet them. As he came to meet them, the fierce animals turned on him faces terrible, and sharp horns tipped with iron, and they pawed the dusty earth with cloven feet, and filled the place with fiery bellowings. The minions were stark with fear. He went up to the bulls, not feeling their hot breath at all, so great the power of his charmed drugs, and while he was stroking their down-hanging dewlaps with a fearless hand, he placed the yoke down on their necks and made them draw the heavy plough, and cut through fields that never felt the steel before. The Colchians were amazed and silent, but the loud shouting of the minions increased their hero's courage. Taking then the serpent's teeth out of a brazen helmet, he sowed them broadcast in the new ploughed field. The moist earth softened these seeds that were steeped in virulent poison, and the teeth swelled up and took new forms. and just as in its mother an infant gradually assumes the form of man, and is perfected through all parts within, and does not come forth to the light till fully formed, so when the forms of men had been completed in the